Hello, Chitkara University, and welcome back to another episode in the podcast series for the alumni of Chitkara University. And what an amazing and engaging profile we have today with us. This podcast series is specially curated for the students of Chitkara University so that you can learn from your own alumni कि क्या इंडस्ट्री की रियलिटी है, किस तरह से आपने अपने आप को ग्रो करना है, एंड ऑफ कोर्स जो आपके एलुमिनाई अब एलुमिनाई हैं, कभी वो भी स्टूडेंट्स थे, व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंसेस डिड दे हैव व्हेन दे वर स्टूडेंट्स एंड व्हाट डू दे एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम यू व्हेन यू आर स्टूडेंट्स. So we have Mr. Amit Jamwal with us today, who did mechanical engineering in 2006 batch. So he passed out in 2010. Later on, he was placed in Chima Boilers Limited from campus itself. Then he started working with his own family business, but he realized कि exposure और experience लेने के लिए industry में और काम करना चाहिए for his own betterment. So then he started working with Godrej, and after gaining a lot of experience, he started his own company. And now, with his own company, he's again working with Godrej, but not as an employee, as a dealer distributor with them. What an amazing profile. What hard work it must have been in his life यहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए. So आज आपके alumni के साथ आपके सामने जो बातचीत करेंगे उसकी शुरुआत करते हैं. Let's first welcome him. Amit Jamwal ji, welcome to this podcast series of alumni of Chitkara University.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Farak ji.
How are you feeling today?
Yo, it's amazing. Coming back to the college after 10 years. So last I think I was here in 2014. So 2024 it is. So 10 साल बाद college में आना, such change. It's amazing.
And what are the changes that you noticed right away the moment you stood in front of the same gate जहाँ पे आप student बन के 2006 में आए थे?
So we used to pass by because हम लोग यहीं काम कर रहे हैं, आसपास जाते रहते हैं, and it's a daily routine for us. But yes, coming back to the college from the gate itself, the infrastructure, the students, the faculty, it's amazing. The changeover, turnaround, and for good. Yes.
Of course, for good. And ये जो हम for good बोल रहे हैं, it completely reflects for good of the students.
Yes, definitely.
So the students are going to gain a lot out of it.
Correct.
So आज जब आप कॉलेज कैंपस में आए, आज जब हम ये रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहे हैं, पहले आज के एक्सपीरियंस से, आज के प्रेजेंट से शुरू करते हैं. देन ऑफ कोर्स बहुत सी कॉलेज मेमोरीज याद की जाएंगी, बहुत बातें करेंगे. सो आज द मोमेंट यू एंटर्ड द गेट, टेक अस थ्रू द फ्लैशबैक्स दैट यू मस्ट हैव गॉन थ्रू. बहुत कुछ याद आया होगा. सो हाउ डिड यू फील?
So when we just entered, so the first thing came into mind the last day of the college, because that was the means the flashback of the whole 4-year journey. So the first building came in where we were clicking photos on the last day, having those chats with our friends, saying goodbye to the friends. वो सारी चीज़ें बिल्कुल as a flashback it was like. And then coming to the D Morgan block, जो where we spend almost last 2 years of our engineering. So that classrooms, that bunks, those teachers, that was all in just a flash of seconds. It was all around the eye. So that was, I'll say, that was the thing.
And then when you moved in and you entered the office, you were welcomed by the same staff members, same teachers, वो warmth, वो hospitality जिसके लिए चितकारा यूनिवर्सिटी जानी जाती है. So take us through those emotions.
That was all the same. Matlab, there is no change at all. Meeting those teachers, it was just like it's yesterday's thing, like we met them and said goodbye. But again, like I said, the duration is 10 years, but you never feel those 10 years. It's like coming to the home back. So it was amazing. And being welcomed in your own college like that and all, it's really warm.
Of course, and one more important thing, I was there, I was looking towards you, and you entered the office and there was this wall of fame, and you
yes.
looked towards a lot of batchmates, seniors, juniors.
Yes.
You know, how did it feel?
It was, I'd say, mesmerizing. Like, seeing all your colleagues, your seniors whom you have met on daily times, seeing them on a wall, it actually was an amazing feeling that we might have forgot our college during our daily routines, but yeah, the college never forgets you. So it's a good thing and it's a good connect. And I'm happy to be here, connecting back to Chitkara Alumni and the teachers. And I probably look forward now to be in touch for further, because what I lost, probably we can gain it back.
That's a very, very positive statement right in the beginning that we in the hush hush life we may move on, we may forget those college days,
Yes.
but then the college never forgets you. The college
Right.
still remembers you. Of course, now it is no more a college, it's a
It's a
university.
university. Yes.
So when you studied here, it was a college.
It was a college.
So now let's, go back to those days when you took admission over here and you studied here. What are some positive या negative memories? कुछ किसी तरह की, of course not negative. College days में जो कुछ भी होता है वो हमें सिखाता ही है. So you share some memories उन दिनों की.
So again, it was all positive only. I'll say negative तो कुछ भी नहीं था. मतलब when you come into Chitkara, everything, मतलब at that point of time, I might have felt it as a negative thing. But yeah, it was positive in whole altogether way, which I am realizing till date. So the first thing, we ended up with the school, started with the college, new feelings, new things, and the excitement is always there. कि college है, अब सब sorted है. And then coming, and then we get a reality check, there is a dress. So we have to come college in a dress. So again, we felt really bad कि यार school में वापस आ गए. But yes, down the line, 4 years में वो सारी चीज़ें, then you realize कि how that is good in terms of equality and other things. So yeah, it was really good experience. So making new friends, मतलब I'll say today how many friends I have. So 80% are from my college life only. So that is how, and probably we look forward to take it further. And it's already 14 years and we are still friends going further. So it's on day-to-day activity. So that's the biggest, I'll say, takeaway. क्योंकि college life में जो दोस्त बनते हैं, वो और कहीं नहीं बनते.
Exactly. And आप बड़े शांत ठहराव स्वभाव के साथ बात करते हो. So college days में भी ऐसे ही थे, शरारतें करते थे थोड़ी बहुत.
नहीं, शरारतें ज़रूर करते थे, बट या थोड़ी शांति के साथ. तो इट वाज लाइक, शरारतें तो सारे ही करते हैं, एंड वी ऑल्सो यूज टू डू, बट हमारी शरारतें थोड़ी अलग तरह की होती थी. ये मोर ऑफ एन, हम एवरेज स्टूडेंट थे, मतलब वेरी फ्रैंकली. तो पढ़ाई से ज़्यादा हम लोग बाकी चीज़ों में थोड़ा शरारतें ज़्यादा करते थे. प्रोजेक्ट्स में लग गए, इधर उधर लग गए, वो सारी चीज़ों में ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व रहते थे.
इन्वॉल्व रहते थे.
जी.
राइट. एंड अगर आप इतने प्रोजेक्ट्स में इन्वॉल्व रहते थे तो स्टूडेंट भी आई एम श्योर होशियार स्टूडेंट रहे होगे.
ठीक थे. ठीक थे, डूइंग गुड टिल नाउ, तो दैट शोज ठीक थे. सो वी आर गुड सर्वाइविंग. So I'll say it's not, you need not to be on the top of the list to be, I'll not say successful, but to be doing fine.
Yeah, that's very humble of you to say that. But the thing is, college की studies के दौरान हम पढ़ाई करते हैं, internships, projects, a lot of things.
Right.
But पता तभी लगता है जब हमारी placements होती हैं, जब हम अपने career में successful होते हैं.
Right.
So वो college की मस्ती, enjoyment के साथ curriculum follow करना, पढ़ाई करना, of course बहुत सी चीज़ें imbibe करना. You eventually got placed in Chima Boilers Limited, right? Take us through that, placement process, because अभी जो we are discussing all these things for Chitkara University. Chitkara University के इतने खूबसूरत कैंपस में बैठे हैं यहाँ पे इस टाइम, एंड स्टूडेंट्स बहुत से जुड़ेंगे आपके साथ भी. There would be a lot of queries, बहुत सी चीज़ें as an alumni आपसे सीखना चाहेंगे students, right? So this is one of the most important things
Right.
in the life of a student, to get a job, to get placed. You got placed in a very good company, Chima Boilers Limited,
Right.
in 2010.
2010, yes.
Yes. So take us through that placement process and your emotions after you got your first job.
Again, once you enter the college, so the end game is to get placed.
Yeah.
Or if not, if you are going for further studies. So, but once you are in the first year, you have not even decided कि आप आगे क्या करेंगे. So once you in the final year, I remember like Chima Boilers was in the campus. So I think it was in 25 Dainik Bhaskar office. So we were, there was a written test, we cleared that, and then there was an interview with the directors and their team itself. So the one sharp memory I have it, like there was a question like, there are so many people who have appeared for them. Why should we select you? So again, the good thing of Chitkara is like they don't forget what you have given to the university. So they have placed our picture of one of our projects in the conference room where we were getting placed. So I just said, sir, there are so many people, but only few of them are present here in the photo frame. So then, matlab, two are amazed. Like director sir was, he stood up from the chair and then turned around and saw the picture and okay, this is, and that set the tone for the thing. So he asked few questions and all, but yeah, so it was more or less done. So 90% of that thing was done, and then the second round of interview was to be held at their office, corporate office. So there we had that second round. So it was again once you get selected. So I knew that time ki yes, I think I have cracked it, because that tone, setting that tone with the directors, setting that thing and that confidence with the directors, so that energy reciprocates. So he was also clear about ki okay, but yeah, I came to know a bit later. But yeah, the confidence was there.
So the confidence and the presence of mind, of course, helped
Yeah,
you.
that was yeah.
Without that, कुछ भी possible नहीं हो पाता.
बिल्कुल.
पीछे जितनी मर्जी education मिल जाए, अगर on the spot confidence, presence of mind नहीं है,
Right.
so there we will lose on any opportunity that's coming towards us.
Correct.
So take us through your first few months in Chima Boilers Limited, and why did you leave your first job and chose to work in your family business?
So again, it's your roots don't forget you. I'll again say this line because when I joined Chima Boilers, so the first boss that I got in, whom I had to report directly, he was an alumni of Chitkara. So I'll just name him Mr. Kiranpal Singh Virk. He hails from Patiala again. So he was my boss, first boss, and then the connect was already there. So he was also giving some extra information, some extra knowledge, some extra time, as in just because we are not only colleagues now, but there is a connect Chitkara that tags along. So that is where the networking started, and that 1 year was a very good time. I got a mentor like a senior brother. There is a corporate culture, there is tussle, but there was never we felt like that. And I was doing decently well. So it was a good journey. But after 1 year, again, I had a family background of business. So I always wanted to jump into business. So you can say I was a bit noob. So I was quite early joining in. So after exactly 1 year, I put on the papers. So it was not a thought process, but I just put on the papers. And I'll tell you another story on that. Like I just called a batchmate of mine, a very close friend, Samaksh.
Yeah.
So I just called him up and told him like I'm thinking of leaving the job, and this is 3 days before my last day. And he started abusing in single line, and it was a monologue. So after 5-10 seconds, I just said, "Bhai, I have already put on the papers, so we can just move on." So that's how it went in. So he wanted to make me understand that job is important, get some experience and all. But yeah, I had my own thought process, so I had already done those. So that was how I left that job and then started off my own. I had a startup at that time. It was known as Collarpads. Again, we were 3 friends out of 1, which was our batchmate. And that was there. So we did it for 1.5 year.
And this was back in 2011.
2011, yes.
Okay.
So there was a startup, and I was also attending to my family business. So that we did.
Okay, and then what made you join corporate again? So you worked on your startup for more than 1 year?
More than 1 year.
And then you joined Godrej.
So I'll say it was again a learning experience. So the startup, fortunately, gave us a good learning and made a reality check. And because of that reality check, I was able to realize, it is always good to realize, come back and see, good to realize where you went wrong. So we thought, yes, need more experience, what is prevailing. Because the idea might be great, but the implementation had to be better.
Of course.
So the idea was good. So at that time, we were competing with OLX and Quicker at that time. So both are successful. But yeah, we were local, but the implementation is where we went wrong. But yeah, we learned a good knowledge, and then I joined back to the corporate world. So I joined again Chima for another 1 year, and then Godrej.
Okay. So now, why I'm asking all these questions is there's a lot of learning जितनी भी जर्नी आप बता रहे हो उसमें से बहुत कुछ सीखने को है. हर बंदा कहीं ना कहीं सोचता है कि अपना काम कर लें. तो इनिशियली जॉब ज्वाइन करी बट अपना काम का वो ऐसा मन था कि अपना काम शुरू कर लिया. बट probably यू वर नॉट लर्नड और मेच्योर इनफ टू कैरी फॉरवर्ड विद द सेम वर्क. उस टाइम पे इतना एक्सपोजर, इतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं होता. एटलीस्ट आपके अंदर वो डिनायल मोड नहीं था.
जी.
You had that acceptance mode after 1 or 2 years of working on your own startup कि अभी मुझे वापस जॉब करनी चाहिए, अभी मुझे और सीखना चाहिए.
Right.
That's again a it's really important to realize that. And then you joined Godrej. So you joined Godrej. For how long did you work with Godrej then?
I worked with them for 6 years.
You worked for 6 years
Yes.
before you started your own company again.
Yes.
So take us through those 6 years and I really want कि students को अब पता लगे कि corporate में पहले आपने job की, फिर अपना काम शुरू किया, अब आप वापस corporate में आ रहे हो. From being a boss, you are becoming an employee again. How different was it to transform the mindset?
I don't think so. There's much of a difference until unless you realize where you are going. So if it is a deliberate step, then there is not much of a difference to understand what you want to do. And rather, I'd say it helped me a lot. So like in the initial days, I was given the upper north territory to handle. Again, it was a sales profile. So again, to give you a background to it, why I chose sales, it was because I always wanted to pursue my business, and I was good with the design, I was good with the production that I know I can handle. But yeah, I was lacking in one of the subject, that was communication, networking. So that was where I wanted to improve, and for that sake, I joined as a sales profile back in Chimawalas, and then pursued that further. Now in Godrej, I was handling the upper north region. So for 4 years, almost 4 years, I was handling that region and was doing fine. Post that, then I shifted to Hyderabad. There I took the promotion and then pursued that as a branch head. And then 2 years, almost 2 years, I did that. And then the 2020, it was the time when I realized that now it's much of a time should pursue back to the career where we belong. So that is where the business started again.
Okay, and you named it as Kepeki Technocraft.
Right.
Okay, so first of all, Kepeki, explain the term Kepeki.
It's an interesting story. So again, in the COVID time, so I'll say 10th March 2020 was my last day as in Godrej. So when I left that, so the thought process was I'll take I'll say a vacation for 10 days. So by the time I was coming from Hyderabad to Chandigarh, we came by road, me and my wife. So it was all, we were having a leisure trip. And post that, we never thought that there will be another leisure trip awaiting for us for good 45, 60 days, which was the COVID time. So that COVID time was a good unlearning process for me, because that corporate world and then this business world, there has to be a good unlearning process to be done. So that was a very good phase. मतलब जो न्यूज़ में आप देखते थे, जो जलेबी बना रहे हैं घर पे, समोसे बना रहे हैं, वी वर वन ऑफ दोज. क्योंकि पिछला कोई काम था नहीं करने को, आगे कुछ शुरू किया नहीं था, तो अभी हम खाली थे. तो एट दैट टाइम वी वर थिंकिंग ऑन दिस नेम की व्हाट टू स्टार्ट ऑफ. So in 2017, I was in Japan. So my sister used to live there. So I traveled there for around 15, 20 days. So they had a term Kepeki, which means clean or cleanliness. So that's how we were naming it, like clean craft and all. But then that Kepeki word struck off. So that's how it came, Kepeki Technocraft.
Okay, and how does this name relate to your business that you're doing right now? Please explain the kind of work that you're doing.
So again, it's a technical work. I'm again linked to the mechanical aspect to it to a bit extent. Craft, you understand what we are. So it's a like clean technical craft. So that's how Kepeki Technocraft it meant in. And right now we are into the business of warehousing, where we are doing 360-degree warehousing. So to explain warehousing is just like the last mile stores you might have heard, like the 10 minutes delivery that we are getting today.
Yeah.
So somehow someone is working at the back end. आप करियाने की दुकान पे जाते हो, आप उससे चीनी मांगते हो, तो it also takes 5 minutes But in a store where it has to be delivered in 10 minutes, that means as soon as your order is booked, it has to be fetched at the immediate. So that facility, which is designed and supplied, so that we are doing. So
Okay.
that is the last mile, and then before that, there is another facility, the bigger warehouse, which feeds those last mile stores. That also we are doing. So that is our bread and butter as of now.
Okay, and how many employees are there in this company?
So overall, like I'm handling two profiles. So one is my family business, and the other is this. Because dad is also retiring now, and so I have almost like 30 employees, 25, 30 employees.
Okay, 25 to 30 employees, and
Yes.
some of them must be on site, some of them must be in office.
Yes. So on-site is always on the floating side,
Hmm.
so it's come and goes as per the project requirements. But yeah, on the fixed side is on the office.
Okay, amazing. So now that you've explained all the profiles that you've worked on and that you're working on currently, tell me something. जब चितकारा यूनिवर्सिटी में जब आप स्टडी कर रहे थे तो बीइंग एन इंजीनियर बीइंग अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग एक 6 मंथ की इंटर्नशिप और 2 मंथ्स की इंटर्नशिप्स भी रहती हैं. सो
Right.
वो इंटर्नशिप्स के दौरान या probably कोर्स के दौरान what were the learnings which later on helped you in this industry?
Okay. So first we had our 2 months training. It's a 6 week training after the 1 year.
Yeah.
So that is where we joined Mahindra and Mahindra. But yeah, when you enter into corporate world, it's very difficult, as a trainee to get or to learn in 6 months, because that's a huge processes are there. You cannot go in deep things. So to understand on the basics part, my dad belongs to again mechanical industry, and he has his own network. So I discussed with one of my uncle and dad also, like what is to be done, what can be better for me in the future, because I wanted to be in the core field at that point of time. So then I joined one of the industry in Panchkula. So I was going Mahindra and Mahindra in the first half. Then second half, after getting free, I used to travel to Panchkula. So there I spent around till 6 o'clock. I was there. Then after that, we were also discussing for some of the project basis. So I had to learn on the designing part. So in the evening, I come back again to Mohali. So 7 to 8, 8:30, I was learning a software, Katia, the designing software.
Just a moment. So your internship was just with Mahindra and Mahindra.
Yes,
उसके अलावा जो कुछ भी आप गिनवा रहे हो, that was just for your own profile
that
building,
was own profile building.
for your own learning.
Yes,
Amazing. So मतलब वो internship करने के बाद आप दो extra चीजें उस time पे भी कर रहे थे.
yes,
Learning from Panchkula and then of course the software.
correct.
Okay, you can please continue. Amazing. So this was important to share with the students. Yes.
So that was the learning. So again, the story behind learning about the software was because we were thinking to build something for the final year project. And the discussion we had with our team was we were a core team of 3, 4 people. So where we were discussing like what is to be done. Right now, there is nothing decided. But yeah, we were thinking of some project to be done, and it should be big. Let us make useful time of this thing. So we started learning on the basics, the designing software, because the things might fall in later. We can fill in the blank. So that 6 weeks was a very intensive training. Well, the people were enjoying, and I was, like I told. But then later on, it paid off. So during just after our third semester, we finalized where to look forward for it, and it was in considering the sustainability, the environment. One thing was sure that oil is coming to an end. Yeah, it's 2024. It has not, but yeah, at that time, there was a speculation like it will come end by 2030, 35 something. So then we decided to go on for a super mileage vehicle, because already there was a formula car being built in the college, and we decided to do something different, and we decided for a super mileage vehicle. So we had a competition in our mind. So the target was set, and we had to do all the workings and all. So that is where, so in the third semester itself, we had almost done 90% of our automobile engineering. So that was the tone. Not only me, but the whole team that we were doing. So everyone was given its individual aspect. And since I was from the designing, so I had to take care of all the aspects. There was a team who was handling engine parts, transmission was taken care, design was done by the aero design that was being done by another team. So we split the whole target into small blocks and then started working towards it. So that's how it was, the learning phase.
So when I asked you earlier कि शरारतें तो सभी करते हैं, उस टाइम पे आप शरारतों के बारे में ज़्यादा बता नहीं पाए, और अब मुझे पता लग रहा है कि क्यों नहीं बता पाए.
बिल्कुल.
आपके पास शरारतों का टाइम ही नहीं था.
नहीं, शरारतें इसी में होती थी. अब अगर हमें कुछ करना है तो उस चीज़ के लिए, अब फॉर एग्जांपल यू नीड टाइम टू डू थिंग्स. अब दो चीज़ें हैं, या तो आप छुट्टी ले लो और बाहर बैठ जाओ, या फिर आप कॉलेज में क्या होता है, बंक होता है एंड ऑल, तो अटेंडेंस तो बच जाती है ना. सो दैट इज़ वेयर इट ऑल केम इन. तो बंक मोटिवेटेड ये चीज़ें करके, बट या टाइम यूटिलाइजेशन कहीं और होती थी.
Of course, yes, of course, yes. So there's a segment in this podcast which we call as then and now,
Okay.
Maybe not specifically then and now, but उसके बारे में बात करना ज़रूरी है. तो 2006 से 2010 का टाइम जब आपने यहाँ पे स्टडी की, अब 2024 में हम बात कर रहे हैं जब आप वापस यहाँ पे आए हो. Your life back then and your life now. What are the changes? And उन changes के पीछे की मेहनत, उनको थोड़ा describe करो.
I think one thing doesn't change, that is the mehnat part. So I totally believe in the karma theory. Whatever you do, it pays off. तो हमने फर्स्ट ईयर में जो किया वो हमें probably we never realized, but that was the third and fourth year. And today I'm sitting here, that is probably because of that work we did, and that is the recognition. Otherwise, we also have our more colleagues and our batchmates. So probably that's an edge to it. So you never realize what will be the outcome. But yeah, you never stop doing things. So today also it's like that only. Even now also, those things helped me in a way, like that visualization, that vision, that 3 years vision and working it in the first year. So it always helped me. So that is what we are doing. Even today, I'm not focusing on what I have to do it right now. But yeah, I'm focusing on the bigger goals, like where I'll be in next 3 years, 5 years and 10 years. So that is there. और यहाँ पे एक और चीज़ मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा. Fortunately, we had an honor of meeting Mr. Ratan Tata during 2010 Auto Expo, where he was unveiling the Nano at that time. Again, which was a great, I think, automobile changer during that phase in Indian auto industry.
Yeah.
So there we were also there representing Chitkara, where we had displayed our car. So Mr. Ratan Tata with his whole team was there, and he spent good 10 minutes with us, encouraging us, discussing on the project, and the detailing of the project, the way he went into, what in personality. It was a great learning. To be successful and be humble like him, it's really, you rarely find such people.
And the picture with Mr. Ratan Tata ji, how close do you hold that picture with you?
Oh, it's really a special. It's really a special moment for us. Means that pat on the back. It was a totally different. That aura traveled. It was not a person who traveled into our booth and came into and discussed with us. It was an aura. The way he was there, the way everyone was reacting and all. So it was mesmerizing. So leaving all the success, like US, they're winning the award and all. But that was a different kind of success, which cannot be illustrated in words.
Those are some amazing insights, and that is the purpose of this podcast, so that हम आपकी as an alumni, आपके career, आपकी professional journey discuss करें, जिससे students बहुत कुछ सीखें, कह के सिखाने की ज़रूरत ना पड़े. वो बातें सुन के उन्हें बहुत कुछ पता लगे कि this is what you did, this is probably they should do or they should not, right? So now अभी एक सबसे important part जो मुझे आपकी professional journey का लगा है, that is acceptance. Taking mature decisions. तो आपने पहले थोड़ा जल्दबाजी में डिसीजन लिया कि जॉब छोड़ के इमीडिएटली अपना काम शुरू कर लिया, बट लेटर ऑन यू रियलाइज दैट आई शुड गो बैक टू जॉब टू गेन मोर एक्सपीरियंस, टू गेन मोर एक्सपोजर. अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं 2010 के करीब, जब स्मार्टफोन्स, इंटरनेट,
Right.
हमारे पास उस टाइम पे इतना कुछ नहीं था, आया भी था तो बिल्कुल ही एंट्री इंट्रोडक्शन फेज पे था.
Correct.
अभी तो बहुत एडवांसमेंट्स हो गई हैं. सो नाउ देयर वुड बी अ लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स जिनका सेम माइंडसेट हो. सम ऑफ देम मे थिंक कि एक बार जॉब लेते हैं, साथ में कुछ शुरू कर लेंगे. सम ऑफ देम ऑन द अदर साइड अभी भी कुछ शुरू करने का प्लान कर रहे होंगे. What are your views whether students should first take industry experience exposure by working in the industry and probably later on transforming into an entrepreneur? So what is your opinion about all this?
Okay, very frankly, I'll just say there's never a good time or bad time. You can always start your journey. But it is, I'll just say, as part of my learning, you have to be a bit organized. So I'll say, if whatever you are, you might feel you are lacking in. So today it is very easy. You can, the networks are easy. The college is supporting. Like, for example, there is a whole chapter where you are, you are this. You're helping these entrepreneurs. There is an environment they create, they give you with the basic support. So that probably these are the helping hands that you have it. So I'll say just, you just have to ask for the right help. So go to people, approach the right people, because everything you cannot learn in your small life. So there has to be a mentor, there has to be your learnings, it could be in either way, and the smartest way is to learn from others' experience. So if you have a good mentor or if you have a good incubation center, then that is a good way to start your startup. Even because today when I'm in the industry, I'm talking to very senior people who are in the near to retirement. Still they are saying, हमें भी कुछ करना था. They have that thing left. But yeah, it's never too late. People are starting in 50s, 60s also. Post-retirement, there are so many startups working in. But yeah, the earlier you start, the better learning phase you have in. So I'll say there is no time, good or bad. But yes, you have to be open for acceptance, like you said. So you have to accept, I don't know finance. Go hire a CA. If not CA, go to an incubation center, hire an mentor who can help you with that finance. If you don't have a sales experience, go hire or have an sales entrepreneur on your board. Give him some stake, and that you still you are there with your complete picture. So it's not you have to win or you have to cross the line completely. You're not running a 100-meter race. It's a marathon. So that's how I'll say.
Oh, that should be underlined. That statement. That's not a 100-meter race. That's a marathon. Of course, that's it's a lifetime decision.
Right.
So okay. So on one side we are discussing there is no timeline specifically, but then being a student, we are not really earning right away. Parents expect कि whatever we do,
Right.
we should earn revenue out of it. हम self dependent हों, अपने पैरों पे खड़े हों. बट अगर हम स्टडी करते हुए साथ में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात कर रहे हैं, अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट करने की बात कर रहे हैं, इट रिक्वायर्स फंड्स and of course revenue is we can never predict it, we can never
Right.
be sure कि revenue right away आ ही जाएगा.
Welcome.
So how to handle that part?
So that is where the incubation centers comes into picture. So you need to see what kind of a startup you are into, what kind of a venture you are into. Is it a capital intensive? Is it a tech based? What kind of into? So based on that, you can always decide. Like today, the government is supporting. There are institutions who are lending you. So many loans are being lended. Then there are investor bankers are there. Then even incubation centers are giving you so much of infra. They are giving you the basic internet, laptops, computer, setting office space. So those all things are really helpful, which probably in 2010, I'll say, or 2011 were not there. Those were there, but yeah, the exposure to that was not much.
Yeah.
So that was there. So I'll just say be aware on what is going in and around. Don't be in a hurry to open it. Because again, the ideas, the learning from my side, today I have thousands of ideas.
Yeah.
But the only successful idea is which I am able to run it. So anything good on the table or on the paper, it's just a waste of energy and source. So do small things. Don't be afraid of failures. So that's the only thing I'll say.
Before we wind up the show, what do you think is the role of Chitkara University in Amit Jamwal's life?
Well, I dedicate everything from here because directly or indirectly, the kind of environment I was brought into, it really helped us. Uh, Making a car was such a big thing in 2008, 9, I'll say. So 9, it was ready, but we started it in 2007. That 2 years, the support from college, the faculty, it was really good. Again, the exposure to us was not much, but the faculty was always there. We can learn a few other things, but the faculty was there to help us or guide us in and around. And it's not always about the bookish knowledge, but the other things also. Like if we don't know few things, they always okay. You approach them with this angle, you approach them with this point of view. Then that is how it helped us.
This car that you are talking about was a part of your project, or it was just a passion to create it?
It was a passion to create. It then turned into a project,
Okay.
and it also went into a milestone for us. So the sustainability, a car with a 163 kilometer per liter average at that time. So that was amazing, and taking it to US in 2009, it was again a great learning for us because seeing where the world is and where we are, again a good learning process.
Of course, it must have been, and you must be having pictures or videos of this project or the car that you're talking about.
Yes, yes, yes.
We
have
would
it.
definitely like to have them from you so that we can play it while we are talking to each other.
Sure.
The current students really should see such projects, and we are talking about those years जब internet access, smartphone access नहीं था हमारे
जी.
पास. अगर था भी तो बहुत लिमिटेड था इंटरनेट एक्सेस.
Right.
एंड आज की डेट में अगर सब कुछ है तो और भी ज़्यादा एडवांसमेंट है, तो हम और भी ज़्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं स्टूडेंट से,
बिल्कुल.
राइट?
बिल्कुल.
एंड बिकॉज उनका पोटेंशियल भी है.
Right.
When students have exposure to all these things, they have many more resources to learn from. So we expect कि और भी ज़्यादा माइलेज वाली और भी ज़्यादा अच्छी कार कोई चितकारा यूनिवर्सिटी में बन रही हो,
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल.
और उसमें किसी भी तरह की सपोर्ट की ज़रूरत हो तो मिस्टर अमित जमाल विद
Definitely always help to the college, and because where we got, where we can give.
Of course, yes. So before we wind up the show, one last message to the students currently who are studying here in Chitkara University and who are watching and listening this episode.
So I'll just say, like, don't be afraid of failure. The only thing we do it wrong is we don't do things. We just hope things went. So just be the doer. Everything will sort it out. That's the only thing.
That's a very, very positive statement. Just like there's a saying, winning is earning, losing is learning.
Yes.
So we should not be afraid of failures. Whenever we fail in something, we learn a lot out of it.
Correct.
And if we try it again, probably we'll be better
Right.
with the results.
Correct. So that's where the 2011 to 13, that was the learning phase. And
Yeah.
I owe all my success to that phase because whatever we did at that time, I know those things, how it went and what corrective actions have to be taken. So that's the learning phase. So that's why I never called it as a failure, but a learner. So that's how it is.
Amazing. It was really, really nice talking to you, Amit ji. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Same here, and pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to be here in Chitkara University.
Chitkara University.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking out time and being here in the series of podcast with alumni.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was Mr. Amit Jamwal with us in the podcast series for alumni in Chitkara University. Of course, we'll keep bringing such alumni for you, for the current students who are watching right now, because it is the learning from your own alumni that can guide you the most. Of course, teachers, friends, seniors, they are always there for your support, but the reality of the industry is more clear when your own alumni come over and talk to you about the same. I believe you would love this episode. I believe you must have loved this engaging conversation with Mr. Amit. See you in the next episode of podcast series with Chitkara University, especially with alumni. Thank you so much for watching this episode. See you in the next episode. Till then, take care.